Southeast Asian Series number 2. I'm Lyrical Dota, joined today by Corrupt Drop Bear on the stats. Unfortunately, Danny Lee will not be with us in this game. She did have other engagements, so we'll be back probably tomorrow, though I do believe, if I am not mistaken. So regardless, you're going to be having me here. Execration up against Pang5 in what I'm hoping is going to be a little bit of a different matchup this time around. Last game we did end up seeing several subs being brought into the game for Pang5 because they were having a couple of connectivity issues, and so because of that we did have a little bit of a longer delay in between these two games here. Now we're going to be moving on into game 2, and what I do expect to see things a little bit closer than they were last time around. We ended up seeing kind of a weird push strat E type thing out of the side of Pang5, and they weren't really able to execute super effectively because they went in before they had the items that they needed, and all in all there were just a couple of funky things here and there that they needed to have happen and then couldn't end up converting on. This time around, bit of a different draft. We're going to be seeing the Alchemist Band on out, as well as the Doom, Meepo, Winter Wyvern into a first pick Tusk, Naga Siren, Dazzle, Ember Spirit, followed up by the Slardar, Magnus, and the Huskar bands. Currently, no reserve time on the side of Pang5. That is something that's worth noting because they did end up spending a lot of time where they weren't going to be able to be a part of the draft. The side of Execration was waiting on them, as were all of you fine folks at home. They did end up getting that level 3 penalty, which is oh so devastating in terms of your drafts and what you're able to accomplish. And because of that, they're left with only 39 seconds roughly per pick. Could end up being a little bit tough, and they're going to need to go quickly. It's worth noting also we are going to see this Naga Siren picked up, not something that you always see. I think that the other day, if I'm not mistaken, we saw this team run at mid, or we saw a team run at mid. I'm not sure if it was Pang5 or if it was somebody else. I'll have to go back through the drafts later on. And it ended up working out relatively okay for them. They got a good amount of damage off on her early. She picked up drums at the same time that the Doom got the drums. That was a little bit clunky, but it ended up working out for them. And I think that might actually be where we end up seeing this Naga Siren, considering that we've seen the Juggernaut picked up also. Kind of a bit of an off-color mid for how this meta has ended up working out. Not something that you always end up seeing, but I do like it. It's unique, it's interesting, it's more entertaining than you would normally expect to see out of the Naga Siren, because normally when you think about this here, you think about just going straight on up for that Radiance, and then being, just that split-pushing, absolutely terrible presence there. But what we ended up seeing in the other game, and I think that this is what they're going to be doing also, is they ran it against a Tiny IO mid, and what they ended up doing was whenever there was an instance where Tiny threw the Naga Siren back, she went mirror image, so that way she didn't take as much tower damage, and then that was followed up by a Dazzle being able to lay down the heal bomb on top of her, and obviously getting the extra damage from the illusions. It was a very, very strong signature set that they ended up running, and they're going to ban out the AA this time, looking like they might actually want to be dealing with the potential for the counter push. And it was a different thing too, because you kind of were expecting that the Naga Siren was going to end up sort of going for the more traditional build, and that didn't end up happening. And Execration here, now that they've picked up the Ember Spirit, Queen of Pain, and Lion, obviously the Lion being able to deal with those Naga Siren illusions, it presents a couple of interesting problems. You've got heroes that are pretty good at picking off the enemy heroes while simultaneously being able to push out lanes consistently well. I think that they've formulated their draft in a really smart way here on the side of Execration, and it's going to be up to the side of Pang5 to really counter this off by either one, double downing on the split push that they've got going, or alternatively really starting to set the pace by applying the pressure early. And with the Spirit Breaker, I think you can apply pressure very early. This is going to again be one of those instances where you want to see him rotating on in and trying to make stuff happen in each of these lanes. Bane was he got an ultra kill at 16 minutes into the game in the last series. There's not a whole lot else that you can say about that, and I'm not expecting the same type of dominance. So I think at this point, if you're Pang5, you say, you know what, first game didn't go our way, we're going to move on through it, we're going to move on past it, we're going to go on into this next game, and we're going to try and win it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if they didn't end up calling GG in that last one to buy themselves a little bit more time until their team got there. That might have been what they were doing. Sneaky tactics on the side of Pang5. What is this? And now we're going to end up going on into here for the last pick of side of Execration. Probably going to be seen, I think if they take an offlaner here, it's a bit more greedy. Lion, he can get away with just having those tranquil boots as well as a blink dagger, although you occasionally want to end up seeing maybe a bit more farm on this hero. It's certainly not necessary. He doesn't need a whole lot more than that, just that solid initiation, being able to jump on top of a hero and get the instant lockdown. Alternatively, the other thing that you could end up doing is, just having Tusk there as well, who could be running the offlane position, and then you've got, a safe lane Queen of Pain or a safe lane Ember Spirit, depending upon which way you want to run this. I think that when they see the Naga Siren, I like the matchup a little bit more of the Queen of Pain against her, just because you're going to be able to clear away those illusions a little bit more quickly. Obviously not before they're going to be able to get off the splash damage, but also just the sort of constant harassment, I think, is pretty decent. If we take a look at the way that Riptide ends up interacting there, it ends up dealing a 220 damage nuke. They go for a last pick Shaker. So to me, this is a couple of heroes that don't need a ton of farm on the Lion and the Earthshaker. As we switch on over the overlay, get ourselves ready for the actual game to commence. I want to thank all of you for joining us on this fine day. It's currently late at night here. I've thrown on a lamp that provides some nice UV lighting to me, but I'm feeling the presence and the love of everybody all across the world as we get ourselves ready for this next series. We're moving on into the holiday territory. It's just a good time. It's a good time to be playing Dota. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time wherever you are and are going to be enjoying this cast, because I, for one, am very happy to be talking about Dota 2 on this wonderful day here. And looks like for the side of Execration, we'll do a quick little introduction. It's going to be RR on the Tusk, who's going to be heading on over into that bot lane, mid lane actually, to lay on down the early ward. For BYB, he's going to be playing the Earthshaker in that offlane role. Shanks is going to be playing your Queen of Pain. We do also have Nando on the Ember Spirit, and last but not least, Limik is going to be playing on the Lion. For the side of Pang5, NJ on the Spear Breaker, he's going to be moving on off to that offlane position. We have Sarky, who's going to be on the Dazzle. Sugar Bear, probably one of my favorite names of anybody in Dota 2, is going to be playing the Juggernaut. We have Bun on the Bane, and last but not least, LOL, who's going to be playing the Naga Siren. And we did see the early ward dropped on down here in the offlane to make sure that nothing ended up getting any D wards on the pull camp over here. And looks like they want to potentially fight. Move on up towards the top tier one, rather to the top rune, as Spirit Breaker is already there, but they have the possibility, if they want to, do they actually have a dust or a smoke? No, they're going to switch up their lanes. So in the midst of everything, Pang5 deciding to run a different laning setup. They are going to come on down here and maybe contest the rune, and actually this is going to be enough to dissuade Execration from going for this rune, and they're going to go and send the Earthshaker on here to the bottom one, and probably just going to try and keep this away. Oh no, if they end up seeing this out, Spearbreaker thinking about going for it, and instead we're going to end up seeing the Queen of Pain pick it up, not wanting to lose his life down here in the bot lane. They do a bit of a lane dodge, trying to get away from this side here and thinking about applying a little bit more pressure to the Ember Spirit. I think that's the main reason that they ended up doing this, is they wanted to be able to get on in there and mess with them a little bit more. So Juggernaut up against the Ember Spirit, you're going to have sort of the dynamic there of the Blade Fury up against the Flame Guard, which is going to be something that's interesting to keep your mind on, or your eye on. And Lol here, did he actually dodge away from that? No, he just ended up taking the last little bit of damage. But it looks like it's going to be a tri-lane here against tri-lane. It's going to be the Tusk and the Lion with the Ember Spirit up against the Juggernaut, the Bane, and last but not least, the Dazzle. So the only thing that they have to break the Flame Guard in this lane is going to be the Blade Fury. Obviously, Brain Sap ends up dealing pure damage, as does the Nightmare. And then for the Dazzle, the majority of it is by physical. So if they want to break on through that, level 1, that's going to be 80 damage per second, I believe, which is relatively significant. It's a heck of a lot of damage right there. It's going to run away. Can they actually find any type of kill here? Well, looks a little bit scary. This is probably going to be where the main possibility is for an early kill, unless we see 25,000 bashes onto BYB. If he gets another one right there, all right, thankfully not going to be able to find it. But up top lane, they're getting a little bit of initiation. Bun gets a lot of damage on top of him, trying to stay alive by the Dazzle, but that's going to be first blood, and you don't want to give that away to the Ember Spirit. That is really devastating right now. It's going to be able to get him boots if he wants, or possibly he can end up going for an early magic stick, which is going to give you so much value in this lane, and is going to end up going for the boots. Prioritizing that early movement speed, which makes a lot of sense. You need to be able to get away from the Blade Fury coming out from the Jug, and probably not going to want to upgrade those, considering you end up seeing the Ember Spirit go for the the boots of travel more often than not. There is always the possibility, oh, Lowell going to get blocked off. How frustrating is that? The Tusk is just going to be playing mind games at this point. Tosses on out the splash, and of course not going to be able to outmaneuver the Queen of Pain in terms of getting the bottom rune. And at least for now, Invisibility rune coming on in might be in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, if he blocks off with the shards again, this is going to be so frustrating. Meanwhile, up top lane, no, Sugar Bear not going to be going for it. He could maybe be able to snatch this rune. That's going to be the block off. There's going to be the jump forward. Mirror Image, not going to be able to do enough damage. That actually dispels the dagger. Wow, okay, I did not realize that that's the way that interacted. That is a devastating moment right there, as we do end up seeing the Spirit Breaker taking out the Earthshaker in the bottom lane. Sorry I ended up missing that one. My brain was just exploding. Unfortunately, not going to be able to lay down the shards. That could have been a kill if he was able to find that Spirit Breaker. Unfortunately, no such luck, as we see more engagements up here top. So 1-1 is the current score. In terms of the last hits denies, you're still seeing the Queen of Pain in the lead, but she's not able to be as much of a bully as you would expect in the early stage of this game. They're going to be able to shards catch the Spirit Breaker, overstayed his welcome, and now is going to go down for it. Is he actually going to get out of here? Are you kidding me? How is he just going to walk away like that? Oh, Tusk is so upset right now and might end up losing his life for it if he ends up sticking around too long, as Dazzle is still in the area. No, not going to be able to find him. And just backing on out, no big deal. We're good to go. Taking a look at the team net worth right now, Queen of Pain still sitting up top and isn't really going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot. Mirror Image, no mana for it. Oh, going to get ticked down a little bit. Naga Siren ticking down and ticked off that she has to walk on back to base. Picked 4, 1 and 1 and 6. That is very frustrating indeed. That win rate when you ended up getting it picked first. And I think that's just because you can respond effectively, consistently to this sort of lineup. And Nando, ooh, they thought about the Nightmare. They're not going to be able to go for it, though, as Blade Fury is level 2. If he wanted to go on back, he could have done a little bit more damage there, but not going to be able to find it, as you end up seeing Shanks just move on up to the top lane, or top rune here, and it's going to be able to kill on off that Naga Siren illusion. Didn't kill off the bottle charge, and easy as pie this time around. Earthshaker getting charged over here, but I don't think they find that killed. Meanwhile, initiation mid lane. The Tusk rotated on in. Snowball to keep him alive. There's the stun. One more right click should be enough. Never mind. Queen of Pain just yells at the Naga Siren and heads on back towards the other side. Another couple quick kills as Queen of Pain sits alone on top of the last hits and denies, as well as the net worth 2,200 versus her counterpart at right around 1,600. And a couple of bashes here. Needs to be careful on this Earthshaker. Does still have the Enchant Totem. Turns back around. Gets a little bit frisky with the Spirit Breaker and continues on his merry way. Other thing to keep in mind in this game is going to be the levels. Bane currently sitting at level 2 since he's been resigned to this aggro tri-lane throughout most of it. Hasn't been able to roam or get the side pulls off that you would normally want to have happen. He is now going to come on over here and contest this pull a little bit, get a couple more last hits in some of those levels, as the Juggernaut's going to move on in afterwards, and gives a couple of those levels of back on over to his support, who definitely needs it. The off lanes have been going okay. Across the board, it's pretty even. The big difference, of course, has just been this mid lane. We've been seeing the solid rotations come on in consistently by the Tusk, get a couple of block-offs of runes, getting a couple of kills. It's just everything that you could possibly want from that hero, and the Queen of Pain has been the benefactor. Does have the Sonic Wave. If you want to commit it at this point, you got to be real careful. Dazzle is sitting in the mid lane, realizing how dangerous this situation is. Meanwhile, up here, Tusk is ready to jump on top of the Spirit Breaker if they want, who currently is getting closer and closer to that level 5. So a couple of different points right now. You've got various initiation angles where teams can find kills. And actually, this could be a problem. If they realize, as we do have an initiation up in the top lane, jumping on top of Nando, not going to be able to find him. I hear the Juggernaut yell, and he ends up backing on out. So Naga Siren's going to try and roam on in here, get a couple more taking of the stacks, as continue to posture in these lanes here. If the Queen of Pain jumps on top of her, though, with no Dazzle nearby, you can definitely find a kill right now with the Sonic Wave. It's a huge nuke at this early stage in the game, and depending upon how it goes, you've just got to be so careful. Tusk actually is going to roam on in, also ends up finding her out. Oh, no, that probably could have been able to find a kill if he would have just waited off to the side. But now that Naga Siren realizes that he's in the area, she's going to be playing a lot more carefully. Like, maybe you end up, she goes back to lane at that point, and Shanks jumps on in with the Sonic Wave and a snowball follow-up, and they're going to be able to contain her long enough to get the kill. Regardless, team net worth difference. Execration a little bit ahead, about 750. About 1250 net worth lead also. It looks like Shanks is just going to be able to continue to exert this dominance. And you got to really be a little bit careful at a certain point in time. Considering she's going for these treads, she can start roaming around the map and finding kills on any of these heroes. You just need to be so aware of rotations. And it looks like instead what they're going to do is bring the Tusk on in to try and find a kill on the mid lane. They really want to shut down this Naga Siren. Jed definitely a very key component of their... Oh my goodness, I ended up missing that one. Sorry about that, guys. Spirit Breaker commits the Nether Strike, and Earthshaker ends up going down. And now up top lane, maybe going to be able to find out Sugar Bear. He ends up getting caught on up. Snowball forward. There's going to be the Earth Spike as well. Is going to be able to Blade Fear away, but do they have enough to kill him? One last right click from the line is going to be enough to take him on out. And tit for tat, Earthshaker for the Juggernaut. I would take that trade every day of the week. And that's kind of what I was talking about down there, is that if you have the Earthshaker a little bit alone, that should sort of signal to you, all right, maybe we end up having the Tusk that's somewhere else on the map. You need to be so careful there. Oh, do they want to go for this one? Still waiting for their opportunity. Sonic Wave not committed at this point, charging in on top of Shanks in a little bit of trouble. Does have the Scream. Can they get it off, though? No, going to go down. Naga Siren, a huge kill in top lane. I thought they were going to go down here on the Juggernaut, but no, just killing off that quad. But that is a huge kill. You get more gold, you get more experience on all of these heroes. Net worth lead just brought the Naga Siren back into contention for that top spot. And so far hasn't gone for the, hasn't committed for any items yet. Waiting to see how the rest of her game ends up going. Let's take a look at team net worth right now. 2,500, really, really even. Very even. And I think that probably what we're going to end up seeing is not a ton of fights committed until we get a couple of these bigger items up. When Queen of Pain commits to something, she's definitely going to want to make something happen with that. Maybe it's going to end up being the Orchid. I don't love the item. I mean, it's going to be the main way that you're going to try and kill the Naga Siren, but given the build so far, as we see the blink away by the Queen of Pain, not going to end up getting caught out there. Hasn't gone for any points in that ulti, and I don't expect it at least until level 9. It's really going to be much more of a farm fest if you're able to still have the sort of advantage that you've built on up. Nando now getting charged on in. Do we have another strike on up? Is going to be connected. Nice chains, keeping him alive a little bit longer. That would have been a big problem if they would have been able to get on top of him there, but probably didn't have the damage to burst him down regardless. Meanwhile, Bane getting closer and closer to that level 6. Thought about the Nightmare. Backs on out. No big deal. Fine. Don't worry, guys. It's one of those things where it's a big committal to use this, and now with the Tusk here, oh god, this could be a bit of a problem. Bun is a little bit separated from the crowd. Now is going to be able to maybe go down. Spearbreaker continued the charge despite the fact that his buddy was there. They're going to be able to catch the chains now. NJ dropping a little bit low. Do they have enough to burst him down? Echo Slam committed, getting the extra damage from the creeps, and that's going to be a kill easy as pie for Nando as the Ember Spirit rather makes a quick rotation, going a little bit deeper for this one. He doesn't have chains though, and no mana even to cast it. Excuse me, didn't have Slate of Fist. And no mana to cast it even if he did. So no kills there, but they do spot out at least a little stack. Not a ton of farm to take away at this point in time, and it's just going to be able to get here right in time for the rune. No big deal at all. Meanwhile, Sugar Bear, this Juggernaut, does have level 6 and the Omni Slash. Doesn't necessarily need to commit this, though, to find a kill. Oh god, I think they actually spot out the Queen of Pain now, and she's getting charged on up. Might know that something fishy is abound. That's not the Naga Siren this time around. They're going to bring on in the Jug, looking for their opportunity to catch. Nando's going to roam on back up to the top lane, and the whole time through, you're just going to be seeing the Tusk blocking on off the camp with this Observer Ward. But I think that she realizes that right now. Probably, yeah, they end up pinging on out the Tusk, and yeah, there's the secondary ping. Yep, that's blocked. So expect to see some type of D ward in just a second or two. Might end up being the Bane that gets it. He actually is going to get the Observer Ward first. Then does have 900 or 800 gold rather. Would expect to see maybe a Soul Ring on him. Sugar Bear bottom lane, thinking about it. Not going to want to go on in until all the creeps are dead at least. And with creeps there, I don't think that the Earthshaker is going to be too afraid of anything going on here. Drums are going to be the first item for the Naga Siren. So drums, you get the extra movement speed, that's great. You're going to be able to get from camp to camp a little bit quicker, that's wonderful. The big problem, of course, is it does slow down your Radiance timing, but if you don't end up dying, oh god, if you end up dying right now, this is going to be a disaster. Is going to end up getting snowballed for it. Earth Spike committed also. Do we have a Finger of Death? Yes, we do. That is going to be everything thrown on in there. Can they find the return kills, though? Shanks dropping a little bit. Row Fiend's Grip has now been committed. Nether Strike down. Stacking stuns up a little bit, but it doesn't end up mattering as they do still find that kill. Meanwhile, bottom lane, can they take on out? That's Earthshaker. We do have an Omni Slash, has been committed. Oh, not all of the bounces, though. That would have been a much easier kill, and now it looks like, is he going to be able to survive? Just barely getting out of there. Getting close to the 100 HP mark, but the Urn is going to be able to keep him a little bit happy, at least for the time being. They end up getting the return kills on 3 separate heroes. 1,700 gold swing. They did lose the Naga, but it's pretty worth it, I think. Godum's the last game to Signal Trust. This is the only Naga Siren to ever do so. Very, very interesting. So a little bit of a new build, potentially. I mean, you still do have the possibility of going for Diff Blade if you want to. It leaves you a little bit vulnerable to all the nuke damage that you've got here. And I think that that's probably part of the other thing. You ended up having to commit both the Sonic Wave as well as the Finger of Death last time around to be able to kill her off and secure that kill. And that was caught alone in the jungle with 3 heroes nearby. And even still, you had to commit all those ultis. You're actually, I think, pretty okay with that, given the long cooldown that you have on this ability. He's going to be able to catch Sugar Bear now. Snowball coming through. They do have enough damage to burst him down. And Juggernaut getting a little bit caught with his pants down. What were you doing over there? And BYB just going to try and get a little bit more damage to this tower. They're going to be able to finish it off. So, like, we take a look at the ward in Vision right now. They do have pretty great... Well, actually, did they get all of their wards dewarded pretty much? Yeah, they don't have any vision. God, the support play out of the side of Execration has been superb consistently. Taking on out the camps. No ability to camp there. Really good ward here has been around almost the entire game. Got dropped on there about the, what was that, 5-minute mark or so. And just everywhere you look, it's looking up for Execration at this point. About a 2,500 gold swing into their favor, or rather lead. 3,000 experience. Big items that are coming on up. What are we going to be seeing here pretty soon? Dazzle is still broke as a joke on Pang5. But the drums up on Naga Siren. The movement speed, getting camp to camp faster, fine. Looks like the Queen of Pain is going to end up going for an Orchid. They're setting up for something here. Bane is smoked. Does have another Fiend's Grip ready to be committed. I'm not sure if this is their timing window, though. Like, you've got all of your big ultis that are now going to be off of cooldown here, and Lion is getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger. God, Naga Siren does have her ulti at this point, considering she's level 5. Oh, no! Oh. That's enough said there. Bane ended up losing the ulti there. Don't worry, nobody saw. That was definitely an Ember Spirit illusion that he committed the ulti onto, though. And thinking about their initiation onto Shanks here, they do have Nether Strike if they want to commit it. Naga Siren is coming in, does have the level 9 ulti as we talked about. Jump forward, there's going to be the charge away, though, and no real problems. And an Earthshaker Blink Dagger picked up 1450 currently. That is a very, very decent time. Meanwhile, your Juggernaut hasn't really been able to find the farm that he's wanted. Oh, there's going to be the Nether Strike committed, but just a quick little blink away. No problem at all. They get the other Tier 1 tower up top. You've got 5 heroes in the mid lane right now for Pang5. What are you doing? It's so hard because if they get any type of, like, really, to me, this comes down to the support play again. You take a look at their vision. The only place that they feel comfortable standing is within, like, 2 feet of each other. Dazzle's going to walk up to high ground, but for all he knew, there's going to be, like, a quick kill there. They are going to roam on in and try and see if they can take out this Ember Spirit, but they've got complete and total vision over here. He also doesn't have Fiend's Grip for another 30 seconds, almost. They're not going to be able to find that kill. The constriction of the vision has really been, to me at least, the story of this game. Thinking about jumping in again. There's going to be the Brain Sap Blink. Oh, not onto the high ground, though. Shanks in a little bit of trouble, keeping everybody away. And be able to punch him in the jaw as he leaves it open to himself. Nice snowball forward, but maybe might have overstayed his grounds a little bit longer. Going to be able to get the Sonic Wave onto 2. Nice Shallow Grave, keeping him alive a little bit longer. He's going to be able to get just a nice little TP out of there. And looking like they're going to be perfectly fine. So getting one quick kill, but a decent amount committed. Now going to be able to get the Earth Spike on top of low. There's the jump forward, turned into a little bit of a fish. And then she ends up getting it tossed in. And again, another quick kill on this Naga Siren. This is not what you want to have happen at all. Relatively even at the end of the exchange. Going to be able to break on out the charge, actually. Was that... Okay, he didn't actually break that with the chains. What he ended up doing was allowing the charge to hit him while he was mid-air against the creeps. What a player. That was really freaking cool. So, fun little fact to all you folks out there. If you can't hit chains necessarily, and it's looking like it might be a little bit dangerous to run on into a Spirit Breaker charging you, if you use a little sleight of fist throughout it, your body actually moves there, and since you're invulnerable, you have those invulnerability frames, the charge will count as you committing, but no damage will be dealt. All right, big items up. Earthshaker average timing 21 minutes, 15 minutes the average win-loss ratio 21 and 9. That is pretty good odds right now. So net worth wise, currently sitting at around 7,200 on that Ember Spirit. Difference in terms of net worth, 4,000 into the favor of Execation. Difference in terms of experience, 3,500. And Naga Siren is trying to build on up into that Radiance. And the big thing, oh, there's going to be another catch here. Is she going to go down? The drum's extra HP is keeping her alive, at least for the time being. Mirror Image going to be able to keep her alive away from that Lion Earth Spike. He did have the finger if he wanted to commit it, and now he's just going to be able to walk away from there. So drum's paying off a little bit at least, but now Spirit Breaker might be in a little bit of trouble. Snowball forward. Can they catch here? We do have a Shards committed now. Walrus Punch down, and he's going to go down. Thankfully, at least for the time being... Well, no, not thankfully. What am I talking about? Nando's just going to be able to get out of here. He's applying that pressure to the Tier 2 tower. I guess the only thing that you can be thankful about is that you didn't end up losing your Tier 2 tower, but a 600 gold swing. And everything looking up Execration's way. Now, the only other thing that I would mention is that you do want to be able to shut down this Naga Siren consistently. It's sort of in the same vein as Alchemist, although not quite as intense, where if he gets a little bit of time just to be able to free farm, so we see the Tusk unfortunately missed the Ice Shards. Might end up running into Sugar Bear here. He does not want to commit the Omni Slash forward. There's going to be the Fissure on in top of the Bane. He's going to be able to stay alive a little bit longer. No, Gus end up going down there. It was actually the Dazzle. Meanwhile, Sugar Bear trying to apply the damage to as many heroes as he possibly can. Is going to be able to get the body block though. BYB is going to be Fiend's Grip, staying alive a little bit longer. Naga Siren in the middle of all of it, able to clean up town, and it looks like maybe just going to be able to get out of there. Thought about being able to potentially take out the Ember, but not in time. A 2,500 gold swing, and all of a sudden Pang5 looking in a very, very strong position, not respecting the ultimates. The Tusk was diving a bit too deep in that one, and a swift change in terms of the slope of that graph going back into the favor of Pang5. Key components to think in mind about though right now is that you got the Ember Spirit with the Battle Fury getting closer and closer. Tusk still in a pretty comfortable spot. You know, the other thing I'll mention is that oftentimes when you think about illusion-based heroes, you imagine that the Ember Spirit is going to be, as we see Pang5 just really double down on their pause time that they've possibly got. I'll just mention real quickly as we get into this that eventually, once all of their time has been committed, they're going to have to just resume the game. And at that point in time, Lowell is going to have to be microed by his other heroes. So the thing I'll mention is that if you take a look at the way that Naga Siren functions as a hero, oftentimes you would expect to be able to have Ember Spirit really counter an illusion hero. That's not as much the case because Naga Siren's going to spread out her Radiance illusions, farm on up camps, keep waves consistently pushed, and then you move forward further and further into it. The only way that it really counters her out is if you're able to get a Sleight of Fists down with a Battle Fury on top of her mirror imaging at the exact same time. But that's a kind of a bit much to ask. And as we wait to get back on into this one, I am going to take another little sip of coffee, keep myself all super happy here. Oh, that is lovely. That is lovely. So a big swing back into their favor. Pang5 looking in a pretty good position. Again, the big problem that I see is you've got these heroes with the key items up. Lion does not need anything else this game to remain relevant always. If he gets something like these other big items up, a Force Staff, if you get something like a Glimmer Cape, probably not going to be seeing Aghanim Scepter, but it's probably also one of the few games where it might be worth it. it's all just sort of gravy on top. He doesn't need it, but it's useful. If Ember Spirit gets 45 gold in the next 30 seconds, the battle free in under 20 minutes. The current record doing so, 33-3. Oh my goodness. That is quite a record indeed. Always nice to have Corrupt Drop Bear on the stats, dropping on in facts of knowledge when we end up needing them. So Execration gets the 3-man gank on in. He ends up picking on up the Battle Fury before the 20-minute mark. What more can you say? He is in good company indeed. And now looking like they're going to try and go for a 5-man push here. Worth knowing the Queen of Pain is kind of baiting a little bit. Oh, jump forward. They're able to connect here. That's going to be the Dazzle killed off in mid-grave animation. Not going to be able to stay alive there. Another strike down on top of the Queen of Pain. Maybe in a little bit of trouble. Brain Sap is not going to go through all the way. Echo Slam onto 3. Bun in some trouble. He's going to go down. Naga Siren ultimate does come out. And Ember Spirit activates the Invis Rune. Ready to get on into all of them. There's going to be the jump forward. Looking for their possible initiation. Can they find the chains? That's a question. The Fissure. Oh, didn't end up going on over into Bun and NJ. But they still are able to take on out the Juggernaut. 2 quick kills and a tier 1 tower, soon to be a tier 2 tower. A big old collection of it for them as they end up finding them and now taking an objective off the back of it. That's the big problem, is that you want to be able to find the kills, but on top of that take the objectives, and they were able to do so marvelously. They need to be able to find moments to be able to, oh, reinitiation, Spearbreaker, that is bold as brass. What are you doing here? They don't really have the position that they want. They don't have the Naga Siren ultimate. Shanks is going to go down. Never mind. Forget what I was talking about. Sugar Bear in the middle of everybody starting to do that Blade Fury damage, and meanwhile we just have the Lion trying to get out. Can he get any type of positioning? No. Is going to go down on the back lines. Do they actually find on out anybody else? Nando gets away. Thankfully, they deny out the tower also. What I thought was a terrible position for them actually ended up working out fabulously. 1,400 gold swing. The tower still falls, but they don't get the bonus gold from it. And now Nando going to be doing the split push game with the Battle Fury in a decent spot. I think the big thing was that you ended up seeing that Juggernaut still able to get out of there with the Omni Slash not committed. So they were all trying to run away at that last moment. Oh, Fiend's Grip, no, doesn't have it, but do have the Nether Strike, is going to go down with one last Heal Bomb, as well as the Brain Sap coming out from Bun and Sakri on the Bane and the Dazzle, respectively. And across the board, maybe a couple of problems here for Execration. Not going to be able to have this as easily as they thought they were going to be able to, with the Naga Siren getting the Radiance. 22 minutes, still a little bit late, but not the worst in the world. They're actually going to get a little illusion rune here. So sending off the Naga Siren illusions both to the mid lane as well as probably to the bottom, but then getting a nice little easy illusion rune also. It's probably the best hero in the game to be able to get it on. Why not? Blink Dagger on Lion, also maxing on out Mana Drain. This is now on a 5-second cooldown, killing off those illusions with impunity. This is going to be a very, very good spot for him. But again, how do you deal with them if you're not in the right spot? They're just going to continue to push on out there, and so frustrating to play against. Constant burn damage on top of all of the rest of the enemy heroes. How's Jug's farm looking? That's kind of what I'm curious about. He's going to be building into that Sanj and Yasha, I would imagine. We tend to see those Juggernauts build into stats. God, I want to play some Dota. Every time I end up seeing these heroes just go for these like stat builds that are early fighting stuff, it makes me want to hop on into a game and play it out. Lol here is going to be able to take on out this stacked up camp. Easy breezy. Spearbreaker, meanwhile, is going to try and charge on in with the Shadow Blade already picked up. He's been able to get a decent amount of farm, more so than you would expect for this offlaner. Is going to find on out the Lion. Can he get the Nether Strike? Enough damage down, dealing a lot of it. Urn Charge comes out, misses the Earth Spike, Finger of Death. Oh, that was, not sure if that was the play. Naga Siren was actually able to get the last hit with the Radiance Burn across the map. Talk about easy there. And now 150-second cooldown committed for that. A little bit of flashes of problems showing for them. All right, can they find their possibility to jump on a Sugar Bear here? I think he realizes something is going on. Do we have any wards in the area? No, but not seeing anybody on the map with pressure being applied to each of the several other lanes. 4 heroes here is the only real other possibility, and Bun is going to run on over. Meanwhile, a charge across the map. Going to run on forward, see if they can potentially take on out this Tusk here. He's taking a ton of burn damage. Radiance is killing him off, and actually is going to go down in a second too. I think that he does fall. One more right click, that's going to be enough for the kill. And meanwhile, the Naga Siren, popping on off her ulti, is going to be able to just TP on out of here. No problem. Tusk finds his way out, or excuse me, Spearbreaker finds his way out, and an easy, quick kill there. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why this hero is so frustrating to play against, because you constantly need to keep those lanes pressured. You constantly have to sort of, I don't know what the great analogy is to it in terms of everyday life, but I'm not sure. Taking out the garbage, maybe. It's like Ember Spirit's going to be able to pick on up a Blink Dagger, but meanwhile, the rest of his team ends up getting caught out. 2 hit with the charge. Meanwhile, Shanks is going to get hit by another bash. 17%, please. Oh, Juggernaut, quick kill on top of the Lion, so he is not in a very happy spot right now. Looks like they're going to be able to take another Tier 2 tower, and consistently, we're seeing the net worth graph just shoot on up into the favor now of Pang5. They do have, oh god, they found out the Earth Spirit. Excuse me, the Earth Shaker. There's going to be a catch, a couple of shards coming out. Might be in a little bit of trouble. Can they catch him out? Sonic Wave on top of 2. Echo Slam onto 2 in return. Sugar Bear was not caught up in that though. Fiend's Grip now committed. The Earth Shaker is going to go down. Lowell dropping low, but is going to be able to be Shallow Graved up very low on that Tusk, but is able to get out. Shanks now gets reinitiated on Spearbreaker, doing a lot of damage. Gets on off the screen beforehand, but still the Tusk is going to be able to survive throughout that one. Blink on back as well as the Remnant. And Naga Siren kills off the Queen of Pain, but take the Tier 2 tower in return. So 2 heroes dead, the Tier 2 tower gone, and Naga Siren coming out the lead gold taker from that engagement. Well, the Tusk gets away on like no HP, but really, is it a win at that point? I don't think so. Your Naga Siren is accelerating to this next set of items. The illusion's that much tankier because of the early drums pickup. It's just so frustrating to play against. They get the little extra swiftness aura off the back of it. And now Naga Siren taking over the enemy jungle. This is the other thing. The big drawback that you sometimes end up seeing to Naga Siren players is that they take farm away from the rest of your heroes. Not the case this time around, because you end up having the Juggernaut farming out your own jungle while the Naga Siren farms the enemy jungle. Really good play here. Difference in team net worth right around that 5,000 mark. Experience also getting closer and closer. And now you end up seeing the Queen of Pain wanting to come on in here, and just going to run on into the Naga. Need to be a little bit careful here. The rest of the heroes in the area, 5 people grouped on up. If they get the initiation off at the start, like this is the other thing. For the side of Execration, with all of the Blink Daggers, Blink Dagger on Ember Spirit, Blink Dagger on Lion, Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, they need to be able to find the initiation first, because if Naga Siren runs on in there with her ultimate up, they're not going to be able to blink after the fact with the Radiance Burn, and so they can't get into the perfect positioning that they want. They have to have the jump first. And if they don't, it's going to be curtains. Looking more and more like Execration are losing control of this game. The slow, deliberate destruction of hope and happiness that is a Naga Siren game. Queen of Pain trying to pick on up a sheep stick here in a second or two. 4 heroes farming the 1 medium camp, and they leave 2 creeps behind. Oh god. Alright, there's going to be a couple of little illusions there. Kill them both off quickly with the Hex and the Mana Drain. And moving on their merry way, but 1,600 is the current net worth chart for this Naga Siren, who has TP boots, Manta style, Radiance. Octarine's next, and then what the hell do you even do against this? Goodness gracious me, oh my. This Tusk is not a happy guy. They're going to go on in here and try and push on down Roshan. And what was a very clear and deliberate vision advantage into the side of Execration is now very much the other direction, as Pang5 just has complete and total walk around this entire area. They can do whatever the heck they want. Going to be hitting for about 300 damage a pop on top of Roshan, not considering the minus armor that you have coming out from the medallion on the Dazzle. BKB is up on the Spirit Breaker. Bun, Glimmer Cape, and probably soon to be a Blink Dagger. They jump here, going to be able to catch onto the Naga Siren. This could be huge. They commit the Finger of Death. Oh, does she get off the ulti? Nice there. They're going to be able to take her down in the end. The solid initiation. That had to go that way. There was a moment where it looked like they might have been able to find their possibility to turn it back around, but not quite there in time. They actually catch onto the Spirit Breaker, realizing it's there. BKB is now popped, and there's going to be the TP away. No way to break that one at that point. Oh, Sonic Wave committed. That is 145 seconds. And it looks like Spirit Breaker is just going to be able to survive throughout that one. So they kill off the Naga Siren. Sorry it didn't end up catching the net worth graph there at the end. There's still a little bit of action left on the screen. Oh, catching out Sugar Bear now, too. Doesn't have that Blade Fury up. Does not have the Manta style up. Got to save that one. Aegis now down. Blink Dagger picked up. Possibility for a reinitiation. Does have Omni Slash. Mizzy going to be able to survive throughout this, though. Shallow Grave keeping him alive. Dazzle was able to get there in time. Does he go down, though? Regardless, mana being drained. One last hit from the Ember Spirit, and he is going to fall. So 2 of the cores killed rather quickly. And no ability to keep these lanes pushed out. All of a sudden, all of the dire lanes are pushing in on the Radiant. They need to take advantage of this timing right now. With the tier 2 tower already dead in the mid lane, it looks like they're going to content themselves to push on in top here. Naga Siren going to start to set in these illusions. They gotta keep these creeps alive. If they go down right now, this is the worst thing in the world for them. They are going to be able to kill them off very swiftly, though. And I'm honestly wondering if, well, they were going to be able to kill them off quickly no matter what. Yeah, they're in such a good spot right now. The question is, can they continue to capitalize? And that's what I'm not entirely positive about. They're going to push out all of the rest of the lanes right now, hoping to be able to kill off the creep wave, but it's not going to happen. They're going to have at least a big enough of a creep wave to take out the tier 2 tower, and thinking about maybe going for high ground if they wanted to. Nando certainly wants to. At least he's going to push on out this one, but instead going to have to back on out. And this is the problem with the split push build, is that it's just so hard to keep the creeps pushed. They have the heroes to be able to do it, though. You know, Ember Spirit is actually going to catch the chains on the NJ. Thinking about going forward. BKB is still available if they want to go for it, but now able to catch on to Nando. Might he be able to get out of here? Does he have a remnant at this point? He actually does not, and he goes down. Ember Spirit falls. I did not think they were going to be able to find that kill. Flame Guard or no Flame Guard, he is dead. Fight recap. Quick little 800 gold going their direction, and now going to push on out the creep waves yet again. Soon to be dataless on this Ember Spirit. Does not have buyback for this next engagement, though. Let's take a look at the difference in terms of team net worth. 5,000 into their lead, as well as an experience lead of around 2,500. So definitely not immune. Oh, Sentry Ward. They know this is going on. I want to go for it. Naga Siren, meanwhile, getting a little bit impatient, says, you know what? I am taking this tower, whether you like it or not. Diffusal Blade soon to be up. I almost would have rather seen the Octarine, but this is a bit more for the fighty build. The problem, again, is that you end up running into Ember Spirit Illusions, being able to take you out quickly. If they end up catching a nice Sleight of Fists, it gives you the extra burst damage down on the towers. They end up finding on out the Naga, and she's just going to walk away from that one as the Juggernaut slow sieges down this tower. There's going to be the jump forward. Doesn't have Aegis this time. Glimmercape keeping alive, as well as a Shallow Grave. Now jumping forward on this Spear Breaker. Going to start to do a lot of damage. Snowball keeping everybody alive for the time being. There's going to be a Blade Fury. Doesn't get stunned up because of it, and now just trying to run away from there. Nice blink away by the Jug to make sure he doesn't end up getting caught out. They're caught up in the sleep now. Might be able to find an initiation point, but no, just going to get the hell out of dodge. Not able to catch all. The chains were close. They wanted that Dazzle in a bad way. Not able to find him. A lot of damage done to the tower, and after the tier 2 dead, as well as a little bit of pressure up top, they're going to disengage from that one and head on back their merry way. Difference in terms of team net worth, again, sitting similar. Until we see a next big team fight, I don't expect this to really... Well, I'll take that back. I think that probably what we're going to see is Naga Siren continue to farm on out the enemy jungle, and it's just so hard for Execration to find a whole heck of a lot of farm. Net worth currently lead on the Naga Siren over the Ember Spirit is 4,000 ahead of him. And that is very, very frustrating. Although Ember Spirit is one of the better heroes to be able to deal with the Naga Siren, and we've sort of talked about that dynamic a couple of different times. So I won't bring it up here again. Goodness gracious. I really did not expect Pang5 to be able to do this good after the start that they had in this game, and really have been able to show what the power of this hero is. I mean, it's not something that's often picked up nowadays. I think just because the sort of resurgence of Alchemist. The difference, of course, with this hero is that you've got a better sort of... You've got a better team fight potential with the Naga Siren just because of your ultimate. Like, this is really the defining factor of the sort of difference in those heroes. You get more gold acceleration by the Alchemist, but I don't know, I think that the hero was sort of meant to do the split push game, and that's why, like, that's not necessarily what Alchemist is all about. Just more about, like, getting up in your face and hitting away, whereas Naga Siren's a bit more elusive, a bit more fighting and that type of thing. Regardless, Spirit Breaker getting closer and closer to that AC. Other key items that are coming up relatively shortly. We have the gem on the Dazzle. Had that for a little while now, and it's going to be able to continue to try and apply the vision game. They do still have the one ward over here, which has been alive for a while, and looks like they actually don't have just the other one over by Roshan. Smoked on up 4 people. The Manta, Juggernaut, and the Naga Siren really need to save this to be able to dispel the silence. Like, I get that he wants to be able to keep the lanes pushed out for this Jug, but that really isn't necessary for him. Like, Naga Siren can kind of do that. Speaking of her, she's going to be building into that Octarine now. Does have the Soul Booster, and seeing that there's nobody all across the map, you would kind of expect Pang5 to realize that, you know what, there might be a possibility that they're trying to gank us. They're going to go on in from the backside now. Sugar Bear is still here. They spot him on out. Do they try to initiate onto him? No, just going to back away. Not wanting to take it. Oh, not wanting to risk it. They're sitting on their biscuit. And instead, just going to leave the DD rune to pop on Nando. Radiance Burn's still going to be effective, but critting for 1,000 off the back of it. Very interesting. So the big dynamic here is how much are these Sleight of Fists really going to hurt the side of Pang5? I think that that's going to be a big determining factor. 1, can Pang5 find and isolate the Ember Spirit? 2, can Ember Spirit sort of elude them and consistently apply damage to the whole team? And if he's able to do that, I think that Execration can still certainly find their way to win this one, regardless of what ends up happening here. If Execration do lose this series, I expect to see a Naga Siren ban, because this hero, not only is it just like something that's, you know, pretty decently good, clearly as you can see by this game, it's just so frustrating to play against, honestly. Alright. Continuing to kill illusions with the Lion. Ugh. This goddamn Naga Siren. Ugh, you hate to see it. You honestly do. Bane now, Mechanism, Glimmer Cape, keeping his buddies alive, might be building into the Guardian Greaves relatively shortly. 2,300 gold on the Naga Siren. Juggernaut, Blink Dagger, Mantis style, soon to be BKB, I would imagine. Naga Siren is 1,000 gold away from a 45-second cooldown on Song of the Siren. Yeah, that is frustrating. Oh, that statistic. Corrupt Drop Bear. You're too witty for your own good. That is great. All right. Now Nando. Blink. Daedalus. As well as that Battle Fury. Looking for their possibility to initiate. Do they know that this is going on down here? Ping's on the Dazzle saying, hey, buddy, they might be over here. Oh, my God, he's going to be able to see him with the Remnant. That is very, very unfortunate. Oh, is he going to be able to get out of there? They find him. Oh, God, just throw everything his way. Get killed. And now immediately the split push game comes out and starting to deal damage to the tower. Oh, God. You see how quickly they threw out all their spells on top of him. Look at the damage onto the Lion. Sorry I ended up missing that fight recap right there. I know that there's a lot going on in this game right now, but is going to be a nice little pickup for them. The fact that they're that far ahead in terms of team net worth. There we go. Oh, Naga Siren. 45-second cooldown. What is that? 9-second cooldown on Ensnare. Mirror Image, 30-second cooldown for what is that duration? 30-second image duration also. Oh, God. That is not what you want to have happen. And again, they have the heroes to be able to deal with it, you know? I think that... I'm wondering almost if it might have been worth it for some of these heroes to go for, like, a Midas. Just because you know this game is going to go that long. And to have that gold acceleration. Think about right now if you end up having the Lion already with the Force Staff and maybe a decent amount of his way towards something else. Possibly a Sheep Stick here. Have the possibilities for a double Hex. The Dream. Oh, one can dream. So, Nando, level 20, 4,600 gold in the bank. I almost wonder if it might be worth it for him to go for the second Battle Fury just to be able to clear out those creep waves that much more quickly. Oh, charge on forward, Lion. They're thinking about going now at this point in time. They want to be able to take this before the next Roshan. Actually, Ember Spirit is in the middle of all of them. They end up spotting him out there. Might be in a little bit of trouble. All right, they're just going to drop one down the ward. Vision at this point for Execration is limited, to say the very least. They don't spot out this ward as of yet, but getting ready to come on in here and take on out Roshan, who is now back up. Execration do not know about this, although it has been a little while since this fine fellow has seen himself. And Sugar Bear immediately jumping on in, and this is going to be their second possibility to catch him on out here. Well, Spirit Breaker, the mobile ward, We've also got several wards that are just in the area anyways, and seeing as they see people killing off creeps, they know that this is going on. Ember Spirit going to be picking up a Linken's. It's so important that he doesn't get killed in this game. I actually really like this item build. Like, you know that there's the possibility for you to get ticked off, and if that happens, you have to be able to be ready for it. Oh, God. The one part of this is that the Naga Siren illusions, you're going to need to sell the drums before they really start to get super scary. Like, you think about the heart, the butterfly on this, where it just makes this hero's nigh unkillable. That's really what you're going to be looking for in the near future, hopefully. And it's going to be a little while before that ends up happening. Illusion's running on in. Oh, the bait. They don't realize this is the real one in the middle of all of them. Is going to be a little bit more tanky. Meanwhile, over to the side, Walrus Punch on top of Sugar Bear. He's still alive. BKB charging forward. Nice blink away. Lion isn't going to get caught out here. Might have dove a little bit too deep. Sonic Wave onto the Spirit Breaker. He's dropping low, but as is the Tusk. He ends up going down. Meanwhile, the Naga Siren Illusion, eyes on the prize, is going to be able to take on out that tower. The Tusk, or excuse me, the Spirit Breaker gets out last second. Liminek dropping pretty low. We do have the damage on top of these heroes. After the Aegis Immortal ended up going down, they're going to be able to take out the Tier 3 tower in the mid lane. Shanks trying to jump away from this one. Doesn't want to take the Radiance burn damage. There's the Omni Slash. Going to be committed. Nando is going to be able to get away from it finally, but still, the barracks are going down. Lol is in trouble. Is going to be able to Manta Style away from that illusion damage. There's going to be the Grave keeping him alive, trying to take on down Shanks, but just going to be able to get away. Diffusal Blade or not, he is away on 20 HP. Sugar Bear comes in on it at the end now, and maybe Ember Spirit can run cleanup crew. A couple of heroes dead now. Do they have enough to burst on through the Dazzle? He is definitely dead, but bought enough time for maybe the Juggernaut to get out of here. They don't want to end up losing this gem. All those shards. Excuse me, the chains. They were close. Can they find him? Another couple of seconds before he's going to be able to have it. Does finally find him. That's going to be the Blade Fear away. No TP for him, though. Is going to be able to get back out of here if he wants to. That's going to be enough that a Lincoln Sphere ends up getting popped. Nice dodge! Oh, Ember Spirit, you god! What a play. 4 dead on the side of Pang5. Taking a look at that fight recap, we didn't end up getting to see the whole wealth of it, excuse me. And now, looking like they might have been able to do something. They lost 2 Tier 3 towers for it, as well as 1 set of racks, but I think that that's worth it. After burning through the Aegis, still a pretty big lead into their favor, but the experience is the key component. Do we have buyback on these heroes? Naga Siren, yes. They're not going to be able to push on up here. They're really, really not. Guys, this game might be going for a little while here. Because the other thing is, even when you lose a set of racks, I don't expect them to really be completely out of this one. Net worth, 2,800 on the Naga Siren, 2,400 on the Ember Spirit. Buybacks abound, and the lane's pushed in. Where are we going to end up going next? Looks like the Queen of Pain. I think that this should be a Shiva's Guard. I expect that, at least. Earthshaker, late game Shadowblade, not wanting to reveal it, but is looking for his opportunity to take on out the Naga. The Naga just got a heart. The Jug just got a BKB. Oh, there's actually... Oh, she goes for the AC. I don't know about this. The problem that you end up having behind you, Earthshaker is bought by Shadowblade in 25 games this patch out of 310. Oh, Initiation? Not able to find it. 68% win rate. You usually end up getting this item because you're that far ahead that you end up feeling comfortable going for it. But not going to be able to make it happen this time, possibly. We'll see how it ends up going. MKB is going to be the item now for Ember Spirit, so not going for the max damage, just wanting to stay alive. Lol, AFK slightly. It's just going to walk away from him. All right, no problem. Don't worry about it, guys. They're going for their second initiation. I don't know if they want to do this. Honestly, I think they need to wait for the next Aegis. They might be getting a little bit frisky right now. Possibly over the limit in terms of how long they're going to be able to keep this going. And yeah, we're just going to back on out. Keep the waves pushed in. The other big thing is for the side of Execration to make sure they don't end up getting... Oh, Nando in the middle of all of them. Can you have enough to be able to take him out? No. Naga Siren is just too tanky. Like, that's the problem with this draft right now, is that you've got the Nether Strike that can basically kill the Ember Spirit. He was able to dodge away from it with the Sleight of Fist, which was solid. But I just don't know. It's looking dangerous. Time will tell. Because, like, they need the extra damage to be able to burst through the Naga, but they also need to be able to keep the Ember Spirit alive. And that's the problem when you don't end up running these defensive supports, but they needed them to be able to get in there. There's going to be the initiation that they're looking for. Maybe that's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Oh, it's looking like they might be able to make it happen. Lion dies for the Naga Siren. That's the point that you want. Sugar Bear is going to be BKB'd up, but can they kill him off? This might be the turning point for them. They don't end up hitting onto the shards. Jump forward. He blinks on into the Roche pit. Oh, Sugar Bear. You don't have that much longer on your BKB, though. Excuse me. That's going to be the Fiend's Grip there. Taking on out the Dazzle. The gem has been lost. Now Bun dropping low. Everything is not going good for Pang5. Late game execution might not be where they want to be, and Sugar Bear's still in there. There's the blink away, but they're chasing on after him. Earthshaker never looked this scary. Is going to be able to find him on out. Frame Rape is dropping, and I think that Sugar Bear is going to be able to get out of there, unfortunately. Last second. Meanwhile, Spirit Breaker, again, eyes on the prize, is trying to push out the waves, but now you've got the Tusk, you've got the Ember Spirit pushing down your mid lane. They don't have a creep wave as of yet. Oh my goodness, we are losing all kinds of frames. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let me try and see if I can fix this in the next several seconds here. As we get on into this game, oh, that might have helped a little bit. That's going to be a Tower 3 going down. There's going to be also that committed. Lincoln Sphere has been popped at this point. 11 seconds left. That was a pretty big swing back, but not a huge one. They lose a tier 3 tower, and now Spirit Breaker gets caught out. BKB on top of him. Sugar Bear trying to stay alive throughout this. That is not going to be a kill as of yet. Queen of Pain ends up taking out the Spirit Breaker. Now the Ember Spirit's starting to deal a lot of damage. Naga starting back up in 2 seconds. Server, what is going on? I need to be able to see the game. Still running away. Sugar Bear and NJ dropping low. The gem is on the ground. They're chasing here. Song of the Siren has been committed. You catch onto 2. Nando is caught out from the rest of the herd. They do not have the Fiend's Grip for another 8 seconds. He blinks away. Meanwhile, Lowell trying to run after here. They're going to be able to catch on to the Dazzle, or excuse me, the Lion. He goes down, but the Ember Spirit is still away. He is able to get out of there. Nando's still alive. I don't know what is going on right now with my frame rate. I'm very sorry, guys. The buyback by the Spirit Breaker is enough to keep him alive, though. Oh, goodness. Can Pang5 do this? They lost the mid-tier 3 tower. They also... Oh, Nando, backdoor! He's actually going to kill on through the range Rex. The backdoor protection was not disabled at that point, so you get a free Rex, but is it going to be all in vain? Sugar Bear jumps forward. Shanks dropping a little bit low if they want to initiate onto him. Lincoln Sphere has now been popped. There's going to be the Orchid on top of him. The Echo Slam! The Sonic Wave. Sugar Bear alive on nothing, though. He is going to be able to survive throughout this. Omni Slash on top of him, but now it's onto the creeps. That's not where you want to have it happen. Shanks is dropping pretty low. The Fiend's Grip on up, but they're going to be able to kill off Bun. Now the Naga Siren, only one left alive, starting to do damage to this tower, but she have a heart. Super tanky. Is she going to be able to go down? I think that they might have burst all of their damage down, just barely alive at the end of it. There's going to be the Song TP. Tower still pretty low, 280 life on it, and it looks like, at least for now, they've escaped away from losing a second set of racks. At this point in time, the fact that you've only lost those is really huge. Right around a 3,000 gold swing into the end of the favor of Execration. They lost the Queen of Pain for it, but still absolutely worth it. Taking a look at terms of team net worth difference, it really doesn't matter at this point. Honestly, the biggest things are the objectives. I mean, you're going to get closer and closer to the level 20. Lion, obviously, pretty under-leveled at this point, the lowest in the game. But the most important part for him is the fact that he has that mana drain to be able to instantly kill him off. Oh, God. 1, 2. Is it going to be 3? He force Safs away. Is going to go down there in the end. Naga Siren, easy kill. We continue to have lag issues. I do not know what is going on right now. Apparently, servers cannot handle the awesomeness of this game. 800 gold swing into their favor. Tusk is getting slowly burned on down. This is the slowest death that you've ever seen in your life. Meanwhile, we do end up seeing Nando taking a lot of damage on the barracks. They're not going to be able to take him on down here, as he just ends up remnanting it away. Naga Siren Illusion's in the base yet again, starting to do the damage that they need to onto this. Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit jumps on top of the Naga Siren Illusion. Isn't going to be able to take it out. My God, I want to see this game. What is happening? Let me see it. There's going to be the crit forward, killing off the creep wave. Nicely done there. Fissure blocking off the Naga Siren's approach. Nando getting charged now. Does still have Lincoln Sphere, keeping him alive, at least for the time being. Oh my God. I'm so frustrated right now. Net worth is down to 0, but Naga Siren Illusions are in their base. They're starting to do the damage to the range barracks. Azon back here in time. Nando in the middle of everybody. He's going to be able to get the Syrian Chains down. Still alive throughout it. And Shanks there also. But there's the jump forward. All right, let's try and take stock of this game. Each side has lost a lane of racks at this point. That ward is going to end up going down. Earthshaker now with the TP boots. 7,000 gold on this Ember Spirit. He ends up picking up a gem. And they're trying to push on out each of these creep waves in turn. Roshan responding in 5 seconds. This is going to be game defining right now. Let's take a look at some of the key items. I'm just trying to keep up with this game the best that I possibly can. Mechanism on the Bane, probably building into Guardian Greaves relatively shortly. Manta style, Basher, trying to build towards the Abyssal. But the Juggernaut's farm really has not been all that significant. Does he actually have it right now? No, yeah, he is currently 4th, so not the highest in the world. Nando's just going to be able to clear this creep wave so freaking quickly. And it's starting to get closer and closer to that point. Do we think about the Rapier? It's so hard. 3 gems to play. 1 on Dazzle, 1 on Tusk, and 1 on the Radiant Courier. Worth noting. The problem is that he kind of needs all of these other items. You could make the argument just to get rid of the Lincoln Sphere and go straight on into the Rapier, but it is risky. Very, very risky indeed. Let's see if I can figure out anything else that is going on with these to potentially have any type of ability to deal with this. No, it's just internet going on over to the Singapore server. Having trouble connecting to it, apparently. It looks like they're going to be able to take Roshan so quickly right now. This is going to be cheese. Naga Siren pushing in all the other creep waves right now. BYB is still here. If they want to, they can apply a little bit more pressure to this Rax, but at least for the time being, they're still keeping it pretty steady. The 2 cores right now, basically, are the Naga Siren up against the Ember Spirit and the Queen of Pain. Of course, Juggernaut is here, but is 4,000 gold behind the Queen of Pain. That's basically the difference of, AC-ish? Oh, 9 and 23 on Divine Rapier. Like, the other thing, though, is that if you think about the way that that works, it's mainly just because if you're going to go Rapier, then you're behind already. Echo Slam of Dreams! They're going to be able to kill off the Naga Siren. She goes down. How long was he waiting there in that little bushes over there? They're going to be able to get him out of there. I think that BYB does go down, but it's totally worth it. Now Sari's starting to drop low. Is Ember Spirit going to be able to solo this one? Trying to run away now. Sugar Bear chasing after him. I think that he is going to be able to get out, possibly. Maybe a turnaround, thinking about it at least for the time being. We have a lot of damage on this Ember Spirit. Needs to be careful. Buyback is not up on the Naga Siren. She's dead for 70 seconds. They might have done it with this one. Can they hold out long enough? I think right now the rest of Pang5 is realizing we don't have the ability to make this happen. This might end up being a base trade in a second or two. We do have the TP on up here. Nando not wanting to risk the backdoor protection, and they're just going to go back in. He tosses out the Remnant, pushes out the Creep Wave, and then comes back for a second initiation. That's going to be an Invis Spirit Breaker in the middle of all of them. There's going to be the break of it, though. Can they kill him off? He might have revealed himself a little bit too early. Now the rest of his team is coming on in here. There's the Omni Slash on top of the Tusk. He's dropping pretty low Mechanism. He ends up just sort of being okay with his fate. So that's 2 dead for each side right now. We do have the ability to jump forward. Nando dropping pretty low. Shanks, Sonic Wave committed. Sugar Bear is so tanky right now, though. Is still alive throughout the BKB. Bun goes down on the Bane 22 seconds before the Naga's back up. Are they going to be able to take enough objectives in that time? Change focus onto the Tier 3 towers. This one's starting to go down. They take on out the melee. No, they don't. The Glyph has been committed for this one. There's the jump forward. Nice reaction times, though, on the Ember Spirit. Not going to be able to kill him off. Sugar Bear running on in on top of this Lion. There's going to be the jump back, the Blink, the Hex. Sugar Bear dropping pretty low. The Orchid on top of him. The Fiend's Grip's been committed onto Shanks, though he's still alive. Nando kills off the Tier 3 tower, but to what end? Now with the Naga Siren back, everybody has to back on up. They can't stay here that much longer. The Creep Wave is inside their base. They do some structural damage. Get the heck on out of there. And now feel comfortable. Fight recap. 1,300 gold swing, but that doesn't really encapsulate the big things here. Once again, fights are not as important at this point in time relative to the objectives being taken. It's relatively even. Ember Spirit 11k in the bank. You think he has buyback, ladies and gentlemen? Key things to keep in mind. 2 lanes of Rax are exposed, 1 on each side. Divine Rapier time, ladies and gentlemen. He's going for it. Does have the ability to take it out now if he wants to. Question is, what is he going to trade out for it? Abyssal up on the Juggernaut. Let's see if he's decided as of yet. He's going to be going for TP Boots level 2. On top of the Rapier. Is going to still have buyback at this point if he wants to go for it. And now, oh god, they're going to be moving on in for a push mid. If they group up together just for 1 second, they are going to go down. I'm expecting right now probably to see him trade on out his Lincoln Sphere. To me, this makes the most sense. Maybe he even applies the... we'll see how this goes. This is going to be a very close, contentious moment. 3,700 net worth on both of those heroes. Ember Spirit alive in 18 seconds. They do not want to commit buyback to this, but they might have to. There's going to be the Hex immediately jumping there. They're going to be able to lift on up the Lion, though. Does he stay alive? No, the Snowball not keeping him up there. He goes down. Buyback into the game immediately. Needs to get back in the middle of all of them. Tusk is starting to fall. Mechanism is committed, but he's already going down now. All right, buyback on 2 separate heroes. They need him for this engagement. Might have they overstayed their welcome a little bit. Earthspike only hitting onto the Spear Breaker, the Echo Slam, the Sonic Wave, the Finger of Death. Bun goes down. NJ barely alive. Cheese keeping him there. Now the Ember Spirit's in the middle of all of them. Does he have the Rapier? He does on top of him. He's not going to be able to hit as hard, though. That's actually no battle. Oh, never mind. That's going to be a jump forward. Aegis now committed. Sugar Bear's still alive. So much damage on top of him, though. I don't think they realized that the Rapier was there. The key thing to keep in mind, though, Naga Siren has been hitting the barracks. That's going to be a kill on top of it. Can they take out Sugar Bear? He does go down back in the mid lane. They're trying to take out these illusions before they take any more structural damage. Tusk walking away. If he dies right now, it's a dieback. Is going to be able to get out of there. But is it enough? Nando ended up dropping away. What did he drop? He dropped his Blink Dagger. That's what it was. The charge on top of the Lion. That's a dieback for him. The Queen of Pain is also gone. Gem picked up now on the Spirit Breaker. He needs to get out of here. Does have the AC. He's going to get into a man fight right now. I don't think that this is the proper solution. Naga Siren's in the middle. Oh, and this could be the definitive fight. He ends up going down with the song committed. Oh, goodness me, oh my. Where are you going to be going? Juggernaut has buyback. Spirit Breaker has buyback. And the Naga Siren has buyback. On the side of the Dire. We do have a buyback on the Ember. You have a buyback on the Queen of Pain. And Naga Siren's still sticking around this area with the Earthshaker in tow. Doesn't have another Shadow Blade for 2-3 seconds. God, I'm so sorry for the frame rate, guys. I don't know what is going on with the server. I'm having a ton of problems, though. Oh, God. It stopped. It stopped. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. All right, the other barracks is gone. What is happening? I want to watch Dota. Panic. Panic, panic. It's not my internet because I'm still streaming live to the world. It's the server, I promise. Oh, God. All right, the Queen of Pain. Are they going to be able to get the Walrus Punch down on top of that Naga? She's turned onto the melee barracks. She's going to be able to take it out. Where is the rest of the squad? They're not there. Nando isn't there in time. He's going to be able to get this barracks. Lola's going to go down, maybe? No, I don't think that they can find this kill in time. They're not going to be able to get here. What the hell just happened for Nando? Oh, that might have been a mistake. They lose. They don't have Mega Creeps. They lose the other barracks. I don't know if it terribly matters, though. Like, Mega Creep's obviously really bad to deal with, but they kind of have a lot of the pieces they need to be able to deal with it. I mean, they got the Rapier up on the Ember Spirit. It might be time relatively shortly here for the GG push. Maybe we might end up seeing the second Rapier in a second or two. First lane of Mega Creeps coming on in. Shiva's Guard has been bought by the Earthshaker. And realizing the inherent danger of his situation, the Ember backs on out from here. But Naga's still in the area. If they wanted to, they could possibly find this. Thinking about it at least. And at least now they're going to try and keep themselves alive. Earthshaker, alone in the Roche Pit. Oh, hey. How you doing, bud? It's just me. Don't worry. We're fine. All right, Naga Siren, the Jug, pushing out creep waves. Again, doesn't really matter a whole heck of a lot what the current net worth situation is. Earthshaker is up on the high ground. What are you doing? What are you even thinking? Oh, God. This could be the moment, though. Echo Slam in 26 seconds. They are thinking hard about this one. If they can pick off Sugar Bear right now, does he have buyback? He does, so it's still not the biggest deal in the world. All right, Shadow Blade on up, and there's the TP out of there. That is ballsy, honestly. Oh, man. Dota 2, what even are you right now? Butterfly on Naga Siren. You got the Radiance. You've got the Manta Style. It might be worth it to start. I think that probably what we're going to be seeing pretty soon here is Naga Siren. Yeah, she's switching on out her Radiance for the Heart. And what she's doing from time to time, I think, is that she's going to be sending out her illusions with the Radiance on top of them, and then only having the Heart as backup. Well, I don't know. I guess that she just is more comfortable with the Butterfly at this point. I thought that maybe you end up popping your illusions, sending out the Radiance damage, and then keeping your Heart on you for a little while. So that way your like illusions still have the Radiance burn, but you're a little bit more tanky in the team fights, but you still have the Radiance. Like, to me, that seems like it's a possibility at least. Does require a bit of micro. His Lincolns ends up getting popped across the map. Something there. And Earthshaker again. Just in the middle of all of it. Again, the warding vision has been superb out of Pang5, but now starting to get dewarded with the gems that are on the deck. Currently the Tusk, Mechanism, hasn't really been able to build into a whole heck of a lot else. In terms of net worth, he is the 3rd lowest. The fact that Lion still has that just 7,000 net worth on him is pretty ridiculous. 4 staff blink, all he needs to be staying alive at this point. But 10k gold on this Ember. I thought that Naga was the real one. Like, the fact that they're just responding this well to Mega Creeps shows the power of these heroes right now. They've been able to build the late game draft to deal with the Naga Siren, and we could still be seeing a while before this game ends up ending. Oh god, stop it, you! Sugar Bear dealing a bit more damage. There's going to be the damage coming out from the heal bomb. MKB up. They're looking for Roshan pretty soon here. It's going to be respawning in just a second or two, and should be able to spot that out pretty soon here. Other key items that might come up pretty soon. What are we going to end up seeing? The Queen of Pain doesn't have a whole heck of a lot else that's going to make her scale super well. Probably Boots of Travel would be the next big thing. Abyssal on the Juggernaut is going to be relatively important in these team fights to lock on down that Ember. They've got all of the tools that they need to take him out of the fight. But the Lincoln Sphere, of course, is making him that much harder to kill. And it looks like now they're realizing, all right, you know what? Roche is probably going down. We should get on over there. Ember Spirit's going to clear on out this Mega Creep wave and head on back home. Trying to take out these creeps as quickly as possible. Queen of Pain had to go back for that MKB and the AC just to get that right-click damage up. And she is dealing a lot. It sort of does feel like one of those instances, though, where if Ember just gets one DD rune, they're going to be able to maybe take this one and turn it all back around. Currently hitting for so much damage right there. All right. There's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Blade Fury committed now. Oh, don't start doing it to me right now. I am so freaking pissed. Ember Spirit, he's doing a lot of damage to these heroes. Shank's now caught up in the rest of all of it. Oh, God, it's too much. And they're going to end up getting caught out here. Nando, can he bring any of this back now? They have all of the heroes in the middle of the midst of them. Sugar Bear dropping pretty low. Still alive, though. Nando hasn't been caught out as of yet. Echo Slam committed. Bun. They broke through the Aegis the first time. Juggernaut's still alive. Nando is still surviving throughout all of this. But look at the Ancient. Naga Siren is on top of it, and I believe that should be pretty close to GG. Everybody is dead, and I think that they're finally going to take it. GG, well played, ends up getting called. I apologize over and over again. I don't know what is going on right now with Dota, but unfortunately we ended up losing the frame rate and everything else in that game. Pang5 take it. We're going to be back in just a second or two with Game 3